tentang AI, cara mengelola bisnis, dan membuat.
Selamat datang di Pelatihan Conference 2024. Hari ini ada lebih dari 10 pembicara.
Hai semuanya, saya sedang ada di acara Pelatihan Conference 2024. Acaranya keren banget nih, cocok untuk semua kaula muda dan juga para Gen Z yang ingin meningkatkan kemampuan karirnya.
I think this is my first time hosting such a big event as an MC. Thanks to SMLONE, I don't feel that nervous, but this is a whole other level of challenge, and I'm pretty grateful to get to have this opportunity. The more experience, the better I can be.
Hello everyone, I'm Nafarul, one of SMLONE's trainee. Well, I'm very grateful to be able to be given this opportunity to play a role as an usher. This is actually my first time being an usher and taking part in SMLONE's activities. For that, I think that I've learned a lot, especially with all those amazing speakers offering insightful information and of course a guidance for, well, my future. I think that is all that I can say. Overall, thank you SMLONE for giving me this opportunity.
Halo semuanya, nama saya Lawi, saya bagian dari Aser. Menurut saya tentang acara ini sangat seru. Saya bertemu dengan orang baru dan belajar banyak tentang AI, cara mengelola bisnis, dan membuat rencana jauh sebelum hari. Dan terima kasih kepada SMLONE yang telah memberikan saya kesempatan ini.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Real Stage 46.
I am Colonel Clarin Josen Lee.
And I'm General Richmond Osen Studilan.
Today's Real Stage will be led by us, who will be the MCs throughout this session.
Now, before we begin, let me explain what this special event's about. This event is all about growth. It's where trainees deliver the speeches they spend so long preparing for as a final test before proceeding to the next level.
We also have another test known as the written post test to measure your knowledge about public speaking theories, such as what you should and shouldn't do, etc. This real stage is definitely going to be an exciting one, as I can see a lot of wonderful speakers in this room.
Before we begin, we'd like to take a moment to introduce and acknowledge the people who have the hardest job tonight, our judges, and ask them to give some words to motivate our participants.
Our first judge is remarkable public speaking trainer with a rich portfolio and is also a proud UPH Medan 100% Platinum Academic Scholarship awardee. She has experience in many fields including emceeing, debate, public speaking, and so much more. Please give a big round of applause for Miss Cecilia.
this is not a competition. We are not looking for the best of the best, but this is your chance to show your best. Okay? So take a deep breath and believe in it. Yeah? Good luck. I give the control back to our MC.
Okay, thank you, Miss Cecilia. Wow, those are some words of encouragement, right, Clary?
Yes, I agree, Richmond. I hope the participants feel more encouraged.
Now, our second judge for today is an insightful trainer with plenty of experience in this field. He has several achievements in public speaking, with his notable one being him as the Indonesian representative for international public speaking competition at Jeju Island, Korea. And in addition to that, he's also had experience as a radio announcer. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our second judge, Sir Ricky.
Thank you very much, MC. Salutations for all speakers and parents. Just wanted to say, public speaking is an art of changing. When you speak, you do not just change people, but you also change yourself. So, what I'm hoping is that I could witness changes happen today. And I just want to say, I know a lot of you are feeling nervous and a lot of you are very excited, can't wait to come to the stage. Just wanted to say that I got you. I got your back, so let's let it flow and looking forward to see the changes happening today. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Sir Ricky. I believe the message are very appreciated.
And now, it is time for the written post test, where you'll be given a few questions to test your knowledge about the theories of public speaking.
Don't worry, the questions are fairly easy. I'm very sure all of you will pass. The main good session in class. So as long as you pay attention in class, I'm sure you will have no problem answering these questions with ease. So participants, please stand outside and
All the best, guys. All right, now.
Enjoy your post test, everyone. Go. Okay, go. Go, don't worry about it. Oke, baik. So, siap Papa Mama. Ya, terima kasih telah hadir pada hari ini untuk mendukung anak-anaknya menjalani real stage mereka. Ada yang merupakan real stage pertama, ada yang sudah merupakan real stage yang kedua dan seterusnya. Ya mungkin ada kanan yang sudah merasa bosan kali ya datang ke real stage anaknya. Tapi kita ingin mengucapkan terima kasih karena telah mempercayakan SMLONE sebagai tempat tumbuh kembangnya anak-anak Papa Mama. Ya, nah real stage ini kembali lagi ini bukan sebuah ujian ya sebenarnya, tapi ini adalah sebuah kesempatan untuk anak-anak merasakan apa, Papa Mama, merasakan deg-degannya naik atas panggung, merasakan tangannya lemas, kakinya lemas, ya tangannya dingin, tiba-tiba nafasnya tersengang-sengang. Ya, tapi memang ini adalah satu pengalaman yang setiap speaker harus bisa lewati. Dan di real stage inilah kita memberikan pengalaman tersebut. Karena performance anak-anak ketika di kelas bersama teman-teman yang sudah dikenal pasti akan berbeda dengan ketika dia di sini dan berusaha untuk menunjukkan versi terbaik dari hasil belajarnya kepada Papa Mama. Sebenarnya dia deg-degan itu bukan kita, Papa Mama. Judges itu biasa, dia temukan di kelas ya. Yang dia deg-degan itu adalah ketika dia pidato, Papa Mamanya melihat dengan penuh semangat. Ya. Dan ini memang adalah fase pembelajaran yang anak-anak harus lewati. Dia harus bisa melewati dan menambahkan keberanian itu agar dia bisa confident dan percaya diri. Nah inilah yang kita berusaha temukan dari level private. Private ini agar dia berani dulu untuk maju. Dan untuk maju dan berbicara di panggung yang tidak begitu tinggi, tidak semudah itu. Ya. Saya hari ini bisa menjadi public speaker, ya saya menghandle dari center point SMLONE sendiri. Tapi perjalanan public speaking saya mulai dari ketika saya di kelas SMP. Ya, karena saya cerewet, saya ditugaskan oleh kepala sekolah saya untuk mengikuti pidato bahasa Indonesia. Dan saya masih ingat, saya prepare-nya 3 bulan. Saya latihan dengan guru bahasa Indonesia saya. Pidatonya cuma 2 menit. Tapi ketika hari pidato, saya naik ke atas panggung, saya buka, selamat pagi Papa Mama semua, selamat pagi para judges semua. Ya, setelah itu saya blank. Saya blank sampai waktu dan saya dipersilakan duduk. Itu adalah pengalaman pertama saya di public speaking. Mengerikan tentu saja, ya. Tapi itu yang membuat saya penasaran. Kenapa ya? Kenapa ya kok berbicara dengan teman itu mudah, berbicara dengan papa mama itu mudah, tapi kok di atas panggung beda? Nah itulah yang kita lewati agar anak-anaknya belajar. Jadi secara level private, kita hanya berharap anak-anak bertumbuh keberaniannya. Ya. Sehingga hari ini papa mama untuk anaknya apapun hasil mereka, kita berikan dukungan. Ya, kita berikan dukungan, terutama karena setelah mereka selesai pidato, percayalah, wajah pertama yang mereka cari bukan judges, bukan tim kita, tapi wajah pertama yang dia akan cari adalah wajah dari papa mama yang mendukung. Jadi apapun yang terjadi, kita berikan senyuman, kita berikan tepuk tangan agar mereka semangat melewati proses pembelajaran ini. Karena tidak mudah, papa mama. Semakin tinggi levelnya, semakin susah challenge-nya. Ya, dan ini memang sengaja agar anak-anak semakin bertumbuh. Nah nanti ketika di level-level atas, pasti anak-anak akan merasa ada momen jenuh. Kenapa aku sudah belajar lama, aku kok gini-gini saja? Ya, ada juga yang, oh aku sudah jago, ngapain aku belajar lagi? Nah momen jenuh ini adalah momen yang memang harus dilewati juga, papa mama. Agar anak belajar, melewati dan memaster satu skill itu membutuhkan waktu yang panjang dan juga membutuhkan latihan yang terus-menerus. Ya. Oleh karena itu, papa mama yang anaknya sudah di level atas, kembali lagi terima kasih karena telah melewati badai-badai anak jenuh ya bersama kami. Nah di sini juga kita yang memberitahu papa mama bahwa saya di SMLONE kita biasanya ada parents trainer meeting, di mana papa mama bisa bertemu dengan trainernya untuk berbincang mengenai progres anak. Nah, tapi kita juga ada yaitu barcode survei untuk parents SMLONE. Di masa-masa ini yang anak-anak itu akan belajar banyak SMLONE. Di masa-masa ini yang anak-anak itu akan belajar banyak sekali hal-hal yang sebelumnya tidak pernah dia pelajari. Di kelas kita melihat anak-anak yang beragam. Ada anak yang memiliki kesulitan untuk bersosialisasi. Ada anak yang memiliki kesulitan untuk berbicara dan mengekspresikan perasaan. Approach kita terhadap anak-anak semuanya berbeda-beda. Ya, meskipun ada yang beda-beda, tapi berbeda-beda. Tapi kita lakukan ini semua dengan harapan bisa membuat anak menjadi lebih baik. Oleh karena itu, jika papa mama punya, misalnya, ya cara untuk bagaimana anaknya menjadi lebih baik, share juga ke kita. Ya, boleh berbincang dengan home group kita. Jadi setiap anak itu ada wali kelasnya, ada home groupnya yang membantu memantau perkembangannya. Boleh cerita-cerita. Ya, mau ketemu saya di Center Point juga boleh. Ya, ada Miss Devina di Tritura dan juga ada Miss Kisa di Semarang. Jadi papa mama, pintu kami selalu terbuka jika kita mau berdiskusi bagaimana agar anak menjadi lebih baik lagi. Semakin tinggi level anak, semakin susah. Itu sudah pasti. Ya, karena kita ingin memastikan anak-anak ketika dia sudah level tinggi ya, bukan hanya skillnya dia jago berbicara. Tapi di SMLONE kita ada skill, manner, and life. Jadi sehingga, kenapa? Sehingga dia dimanapun, apapun yang terjadi, dia tetap untuk menjadi manusia yang bisa memberikan dampak yang baik. Kita sudah melihat sekali banyak anak-anak, banyak orang dewasa yang di masa dewasanya yang pandai berbicara, dia merasa dia sudah sangat jago. Sehingga tumbuhlah jiwa-jiwa arogansi, tumbuhlah hati-hati yang jumawa. Nah itu yang kita tidak mau. Karena kenapa? Karena ketika anak sudah jago dan tumbuh hal-hal seperti itu bisa menghambat pintu opportunity ke depannya untuk si anak. Jadi kita menetapkan agar anak-anak ini bukan hanya dari skill harus bertumbuh, tapi dari manner dan juga dari life. Dan di sini kita meminta bantuan Bapak Ibu, Bapak Mama untuk life projectnya anak-anak, ya life projectnya itu kalau bisa ya, kebetulan anak-anaknya udah banyak, diperketat. Kalau memang anak tidak pas, tidak usah dikasih pas, minta ulangi. Ya. Kita bahkan ada anak yang sudah level letnan general, ya letnan general itu life projectnya bukan 3 hari lagi, bukan 5 hari, 1 bulan. Dia harus mengerjakan sesuatu secara konsisten 1 bulan. Kalau dalam 1 bulan 30 hari, hari ke-29-nya dia gagalkan sih. Ulang lagi dari awal. Karena kenapa? Karena di sanalah anak belajar disiplin dia lakukan ke depan. Ya, jadi bantu kami untuk kita sama-sama lebih baiknya lagi si anak, baik dari metodenya dan juga dari skillnya. Ya, sekali lagi terima kasih karena telah mempercayakan SMLONE tempat tumbuh kembangnya si anak. Kalau kita mau ada ya hal yang mau kita bincangkan, boleh ya Bapak-Bapak, kita sangat terbuka. Dan hari ini kita akan melihat performance anak-anak dan di mana saya percaya udah pada nervous sekali ya. Udah saja tadi tangannya digenggam ya. Ada yang kayak tadi deg-degannya tidak bisa berhenti ya. Kita dukunglah si anak agar hari ini bisa tampil maksimal dan pada akhirnya bukan hanya parents yang puas, bukan hanya trainer yang puas, tapi si anak juga merasa puas dengan performance-nya. Ya, terima kasih Papa Mama. Nanti jika ada apa-apa silakan kita berbincang. Ya, kita kembalikan lagi. Ini MC-nya juga ujian hari ini. Jadi MC-nya juga sebenarnya hari ini kalau nggak lulus ya. Bercanda. Ya, oke. I give the control back to the MC. Silakan.
Thank you, Miss Cecilia, for the great opening remarks.
Now, okay, I see some of the students have come back from the post-test already. But now, as we wait for the others to finish the post-test, let us watch some videos about SMLONE.
Hai semuanya, saya sedang ada di acara Clapham Conference 2024. Acaranya keren banget nih, cocok untuk semua kaula muda dan juga para Gen Z yang ingin meningkatkan kemampuan karirnya.
I think this is my first time hosting such a big event as an MC. Thanks to SML1, I don't feel that nervous, but this is a whole other level of challenge, and I'm pretty grateful to get to have this opportunity. The more experience, the better I can be.
Hello everyone, I'm Navarro, one of SML1's trainee. Well, I'm very grateful to be able to be given this opportunity to play a role as an usher. This is actually my first time being an usher and taking part in SML1's activities. For that, I think that I've learned a lot, especially with all those amazing speakers offering insightful information and of course a guidance for, well, my future. I think that is all that I can say. Overall, thank you SML1 for giving me this opportunity.
Halo semuanya, nama saya Lawi. Saya bagian dari Aser. Menurut saya tentang acara ini sangat seru. Saya bertemu dengan orang baru dan belajar banyak tentang AI, cara mengelola bisnis, dan membuat rencana jauh sebelum hari. Dan terima kasih kepada SML1 yang telah memberikan saya kesempatan ini.
Okay, as a surgeon, maybe still easy. If general, Yeah, but no, but I mean, even if the test is, well, hard for any of you, which I don't think it is, I'm sure that all of you guys did very great on the test. Now it is time for us to explain the rules for the real stage.
First of all, it is necessary for all of you to put your phones on silent mode throughout the whole session, so the speakers won't face any disturbance and can speak smoothly.
Second, during a speaker's speech, it'll be highly appreciated if you don't enter or exit the room. Doing so may distract the speakers. Also, littering is strictly prohibited in the room.
Lastly, at the end of each speech, speakers will receive feedback and comments from the judges. For those audience who want to give feedback, you can give your own feedback as well by accessing the link and form given after you click the link shown here. But please don't type any unnecessary.
Now we will continue and explain the time limits.
Privates can deliver any speech for 5 to 7 minutes with a topic of their choice. In 5 minutes, the timer will turn green light. In 6 minutes, the timer will turn the yellow light. And in 7 minutes, the timer will turn on the red light.
Searchers can deliver any speech with the usage of PowerPoint, music, property, or even a mix of any of the three for 5 to 7 minutes each. In 5 minutes, our timer will turn on the green light. In 6 minutes, they'll turn on the yellow light. And in 7 minutes, they will turn on the red light.
For lieutenant colonels, you can either become a seller or a moderator. If you choose to sell a product, you can deliver your speech for 8 to 10 minutes each. In 8 minutes, our timer will turn on the green light. In 9 minutes, they will turn on the yellow light. And in 10 minutes, they will turn on the red light. If you choose to moderate a discussion, you will have time of 10 to 15 minutes. In 10 minutes, our timer will turn on the green light. In 12 minutes and 30 seconds, they will turn on the yellow light. And in 15 minutes, they will turn on the red light.
Colonels will have the option to deliver a persuasive speech, a speech in front of a camera, or a stand-up comedy. All of these for 5 to 7 minutes. In 5 minutes, the green light will be on. In 6 minutes, the yellow light will be on. And in 7 minutes, the red light will be on. In addition to that, there's also one Lieutenant General who will be evaluating speakers for today. The time for the Lieutenant General is 2 to 3 minutes. For the evaluation, 2 minutes, the green light will be on. In 2.5 minutes, the yellow light will be on. And in 3 minutes, the red light will be on.
All speakers will have 30-second grace period after your maximum time to finish your speech. However, if you go beyond this 30-second period, your score will be affected. Also, remember after you deliver your speech, please ring the bell and say,
"That was easy." Once again, a reminder for all participants to always pay attention to the time. Just like all of the speeches you did before the real stage, if the speech is too long, it won't be meaningful. On the other hand, if the speech is too short, it won't be meaningful. On the other hand, if the speech is too long, you may lose the audience's attention. Now it is the moment for us to officially begin the Real Stage 46. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Then let's begin.
All right, but before we begin, Clarion, I would like to ask you something. What does it mean to never give up?
Well, never give up. Do you guys ever give up when you do something? Of course, ever, right? I also ever.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
Yeah, I have given up like many times as well. And to be honest, like what it has taught me is, well, lessons and maybe there may be some regret. But let's hear more from this specific speaker later. Now, our first speaker of the day will level up from the level of private to sergeant. He's someone from the class of Denver, and he'll be delivering a speech called Never Give Up on Your Dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our first speaker of today, Darren Da Vinci Ginting.
Darren, never give up on your dream. Never give up on your dream, Darren. Your time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. The stage is yours. Good luck. Let's give a big round of applause for Darren.
Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. For today, my name is Darren Da Vinci Ginting. For today, my story is Never Give Up on Your Dreams. One day, there was a young climber named Rico. His big dream, he really want to climb the Everest mountain, even the highest mountain. But their friends said it was impossible. But he don't care with that word. He always study about how to climb the mountain. One day he want to climb the shore, but he failed. But he never give up on his dream, because he know if we are give up, we are closing the door. But if we are not give up, we are opening the door. So he studying, go to gym every day, and without give up, he can climb the highest mountain. But when he want to reach up, his friend push him. But he never give up. He always trying, keep trying always. But he fell down because of his friend give it some water or make him slippery to make his fell down from the Everest mountain. But he never give up because he want to be the good man who can reach the Everest mountain. But he always fell down. He cried, go to his bed, and then he said, why my life is not good? Why I always got pushed by my friends? Then the highest mountain. But in there they have an issue, because there is their friends again. They push again and again, without say sorry, until they laughing to Rico and Marcel. But they never give up. He always keep trying, never give up, like you all guys. Never give up if you are do something right. If him never give up until 10 times got pushed from the Everest mountain. Even from with the tools, his tool also got broken before he is want to climb the mountain. But he never give up. From that give up, he almost give up Rico. But Marcel said, keep trying from your wrong. And then he try again and down. Until Rico cry again. Why like this my life? I really want to taste like what the feels to climb the highest mountain in the world. How to do it? Until he cry. But Marcel say, let's go. But Rico say, I don't want, because later I will fail again. But there was Marcel say, let's go. Keeping force giving force Rico. But Rico don't want. But Marcel try by himself. And there he feel very sad also, like Rico feel, because he also got pushed, fell down, and like always fell down is too hard, he say. And then they use the expensive tools to do it better. When they do it better, in reach up, they almost won in there, but they got pushed. Marcel almost fall down, but Rico take it again and then reaching Marcel to go up again. And Marcel patient is very low again. And then he angry, pull the bad friends until fell down. And after in up, they feel happy. Rico say, wow, it's too good. I love it. From that day, Rico study. Never give up on your dreams. So the moral is never give up on your dreams. The big dream is good for your future. It's okay if you always fell down, but until 10 times we always try it, you will get the good one. That's all for me. I am Da Vinci. Thank you. Huh? Oh.
That was a very inspiring story. Thank you very much, Da Vinci. Now let's have one of our judges here to give feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our judge.
Thank you, Richmond. Okay, Darren, this is your first real stage, and you are the first speaker.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
A little bit nervous.
A little bit nervous. Now? A bit more relaxed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because you have done a very well done job being brave, standing there, deliver at least 5 minutes speech fluently. Right? So it's an achievement that you should be proud of yourself. Okay? And I like that you have a very clear vocal. You sound very clear, and I can listen to you. Like each word that you say, it sounded very clear. Right? And I love that you started your story with the story of Rico. You keep telling us that this is a man who's never give up no matter what happened to reach his dream, to complete the Everest hiking, right? And what is actually the first time I look at you. You know how important first impression is? Right? First impression can determine how you make others feel about you, right? And today, as a speaker, I can feel that you are a professional speaker even before you speak. That you come here ready to challenge and take over the stage. Why? Because how you look. You look so professional, so amazing, and it's so good, right? So I think today you look so impressed, and you impressed me really much. Yeah, keep this outfit no matter what real stage you go, because as a speaker, this is the outfit that we need. Yeah, very well done. Now, what you can improve, Darren. The first is your opening. The opening part is the chance where we can hook the audience attention. Right? How you can hook them? By doing something interesting for them. Example, you can use demonstration, you can use quotes, or you can use question for your opening. Right? When you're hooking their attention, automatically they will pay attention to your speech. Okay? So the first line of your speech is very important. So next time, try not open it with hello everyone. Yeah, open it with something more interesting. Karen, you want to use question? Karen. Yeah? So the first one, use more interesting, open it. Yeah? The second one is, I saw just now, you move to the left, you move to the right, you move to the left, you move to the right. Okay? As a speaker, if you want to walk around the stage, just walk. Yeah? But walk with a purpose. Okay? Later in the class, because you complete your private already, right? In surgeon, your challenge is try to develop more in your body language. Yeah? That's including your expression, how you move on the stage, okay? To show that you are really confident. Yeah, but I like the outfit. Very good. And you have been very brave as the first. Amazing. Thank you, Darren. Can we give applause for Darren?
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mia. I believe the feedback will be very useful. You can please ring the bell and have a seat. Let's give Darren a big round of applause.
That was easy.
Before moving on to the next speakers, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill out the feedback form, which will be very appreciated by the trainees.
our second speaker of today. But before that, I want to ask you another question. What is your hobby?
I have a hobby which is dancing.
I see. Well, my hobby is table tennis. And our next speaker is going to talk about her hobby as well. So, our next speaker for today is someone who is going to level up from the level of private to the level of surgeon. She's from the class of El Dorado, and she's going to deliver a speech titled My Hobby. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our second speaker of today, Aldiana Masha Lovelia Sambiring.
Aldiana, my hobby, Aldiana. Your time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. The stage is yours. Everyone, let's give a big round of applause for Aldiana.
And when I know it, I want to play basketball. And the second is why I like to singing, because I think singing is fun, cool, and I so like hear someone singing, because if someone sing to me, my feeling is can change. Like if I sad or tired, friends or others singing to me, my feeling be more happy and not sad. And I think I so like singing to my friends, because if I sing it to my friends can be more happy and want to play and friends to me again. And my favorite singer in Indonesian is Yodra, because I think Yodra is kind, good, beautiful, and her act like it's same one. I am Karanese, and she is Karanese too. And the third is why I like playing violin. Because I think playing violin is fun, cool, and violin I think can change my feeling too. Like if I am angry or I don't like others or I don't like my friends, I play violin. My feeling is more happy, and if I jockey to the stage, I play violin, and my feeling is more better. And I think playing violin is so hard, because we have our violin have to balance in our hand. If not balanced, the violin is can fall down. And I think the hard is when we use the stick of the violin. It's saying it have to balance, because if we not balance, we use this stick for balance, our song is not full and not good. And I think when I first played violin, I'm 7 years old. I played violin. I think it's so easy, but when I play it, it's so hard. Because when I play it, the violin is not balanced, and I think it's so hard. But when I not learn about violin, I think it's so easy because when I saw people people playing violin, I see it's so easy because his hand is balanced and I think she is good in violin. But when I play violin, the first song I play violin is Twinkle Twinkle. But when I play it, I think it's so it's I can play the violin because I learn more. And I think I play violin it's when I'm 7 years old to 10 years old. And when I'm singing, it's when I'm 5 years old to 10 years old. And I play basketball when I'm 7 years old to 10 years old. And the conclusion is I have three hobbies. The first is playing basketball, the second is singing, and the third is to play violin. Thank you.
Wow, that's a very interesting speech, Masha. Now let us invite our judge for today to give feedback to Masha. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Sariki.
Alright, thank you very much, MC. Firstly, Aliana, I really appreciate your effort to keep going. I can see that there was some sense of nervousness that you have when you begin your speech. But that's very human. That's how it is for the first time, especially if it's your first time in real estate. That's very human, so all the best. I also wanted to say, just now before you came in, I saw you on the first floor. I think it's Miss Defina or Cecilia. She said that your hands is very cold because we saw that hands building. But it's amazing, right? Anyway, great job of keeping on going despite seeming nervous. I think that courage is something that what makes you a great speaker. I've also seen before for you to make up some hand gestures throughout your speech, which is good. And as you progress in your speech, I can see that you are getting more comfortable. And so I can get a little bit of glimpse of how you would be like ideally without, nervousness, because as you progress in your speech, I can see that you started to be more fluent in using your hand gesture compared to when you started, for example. Also, you're also getting more expressive when you're telling your stories, and you're talking about how you found violence so difficult, but others make it so easy, right? So my challenge is very simple. Slowly deliver more speeches and slowly build your confidence on the stage so I can see more of your ideal way of delivery and try to extend on your body language, right? So open your hands up instead of just letting it stay like this and also try to deliver more speech with different challenges. Persuasive speech, for example, or informative or inspirational. I think that so I can see more of your character as a speaker. So great job regardless. All the best.
Thank you very much, Ricky. I believe the feedback will be very useful. Ladies and gentlemen, let us once again give a round of applause for Aliana. Before moving on the next speaker, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill out the feedback form, which will be very appreciated by the trainees.
to the third speaker. But before that, I have another question once again. Why is it important to take care of our environment?
Because if we don't take care of our environment, it will have another disaster, which is flood. Like last time, flood, because we don't take care of our environment.
Yes, I agree. Especially with all the extreme weather that has happened recently. Well, luckily that we are all fine and we can all come here today. But it really marks the importance of really protecting our environment. Because we have to. And that is what our third speaker is going to talk about today. So, he is someone who is going to level up from private surgeon today. He's from the class of Emperor, and he's going to deliver a speech titled Protecting Our Environment. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our third speaker of today, Brian Maximus Lane.
Brian, protecting our environment, Brian. Your time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. The stage is yours. Good luck.
Let's give a big round of applause for Brian.
Well, do you know what we need to protect our environment? Hello everyone, my name is Brian. Today, I want to talk about something that really matters in our life. Protecting our environment. Our environment is everything around us. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the plants, the animals, and the land we live on. The earth is our home, so we must take good care of it, just like we take care of our own house. Right now, our planet is facing many problems. There's too much trash, especially plastics, that ends up in the ocean. Many trees are being cut down. The air in some cities are dirty because of smoke from cars and factories. Animals are losing their homes because forests are disappearing. So, my friends, if we don't do something, the earth will get sick. If the earth is sick, people, plants, and animals will suffer too. Second, why should we protect our environment? Because we only have one earth. We cannot buy a new planet or move to another planet. If we don't protect our earth, we won't have fresh air to breathe, clean water to drink, or food to eat. The environment gives us everything we need to live. So it's our job to protect it every day. Some people think, I'm just one person, I can make a difference. But that's not true. Even small action can make a difference. Here are some 5 small things we all can do. First, reduce and recycle. Reduce. Don't waste things. Use less plastic. Second, reuse bottles and bags instead of throwing them away. Third, recycle paper, plastic, and cans so it can be used again. Second, save water. Don't leave the tap running when you brush your teeth. For example, I always turn off the tap after taking a shower or brushing my teeth. Third, save electricity. Turn off lights, TV, and fans when you are not using them. This saves energy and reduces pollution. Fourth, plant more trees. Keep our surroundings clean. Don't throw garbage on the ground. Put it in the trash bin. Fifth, plant more trees. Trees give us oxygen, shade, and food. They make our earth beautiful. Imagine if each of one of us is planting one tree. Imagine how green the earth would be. adults. It's for everyone, including us kids. We can remind our family and friends to take care of nature. We can start small, at home, at school, and in our community. If everyone works together, the earth will become cleaner and happier. Remember, one small action from you can inspire many others to do the same. Even though our planet is facing many troubles, but there is still hope. Many people around the world are planting trees, cleaning beaches, using solar energy, and creating new ways to recycle better. Kids like us are learning how to love and protect nature. And that's amazing. We can be the generation that makes Earth great. So, my friends, let's all promise to protect our environment. Let's keep our cities clean, save water, and plant more trees. Remember, Earth is our only home. Let's take care of it together. Thank you.
Wow, what an informational speech, Brian. Thank you very much. Now, before we ask the judges to give you feedback, we would like to call our Lieutenant General for today to evaluate Brian over here. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Lieutenant General Clarissa Valencia Pomala.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let us give a round of applause. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let us give a round of applause to Brian for
Impressive speech today. All right, now Brian, as a very, very young speaker going from private to surgeon, I think Brian brought a very, very impressive yet informative topic, which is about protecting our environment. And now, as a very young speaker bringing quite a heavy topic, I think Brian did really, really well for informing a lot of different informations to the audiences. Now, for me, I think Brian did a really, really great job in his structure because his structure was really, really clear, starting from the opening, which was open with questions, and I think that brought a lot of attention back to the speaker, who is Brian. So opening was really, really great from Brian. And then about his content-wise is really clear, started with different points, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's really clear. And I love how Brian, after providing the different contents, he provided solution too, which is 5 solutions that was provided, and Brian also used the stage. First, the solution, and then second, and then the solution, and then third solution, and he used this stage to provide different points of the stage for his solutions. So that's really, really great from Brian. And a little improvement that Brian could work on, despite providing really, really good speech today, is, first of all, I think Brian could improve a bit on his eye contact, because it seems like in his speech earlier, his eye contact was mostly focused on our judges today, which was on the right side of the stage. So I think for Brian could improve his eye contact more throughout the audiences, and that would make Brian's speeches really, really go to the next level. And another part is I hope that for the mastery of the stage, Brian did use 1, 2 for the solution, 3. And for the 4 and 5, Brian went back to here, right? And because we already marked this point for first solution, this one is the second solution, this one is the third solution, then perhaps for the 4th and 5th solution, Brian can move to different parts again, so that the second and the 4th solution is not on the same place, right? So overall for Brian did a really, really great speech today from the topic, which is about the protecting our environment. It was really great. Brian's structure was really, really on point, which was
very clear, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and also solutions, which is really great. And lastly, Brian also had a really, really amazing message at the end. Overall, let us give a round of applause to Brian.
All right, thank you for evaluation, Lieutenant General Clarissa. Now you may go back to your seaters. And now let us welcome back Brian onto the stage.
Okay, and let us call one of our judges to give feedback to Brian over here. Let us welcome Miss Cecilia.
Thank you, Brian, I love that you have a very clear voice, right? Even though there is some technical issue happening, your microphone is not turning on, yeah, but you are keeping your voice steady, clear, with a high enough volume so we can listen to it. Yeah, there's a very good composure you have as a speaker, and that is the leadership of confidence and professionalism. So keep it up, okay? And also, I love that you use some hand movement that you orchestrated on the stage. It shows that you ask us to help to save the environment, and this is an all. You ask us to help to save the environment, and this is an all-round speech, which you start with what, continue with why, then you explain how, right? It was very lovely. Now, what can you add further, Brian, is you need more stage time. What is stage time? Stage time is jam terbang. More time on stage. Yeah? So the more you go on the stage, the comfortable you are on the stage. When you move around and when you smile, right? You can do that when you're comfortable on the stage. I can still feel the nervousness a bit there, but it's okay because this is your first real stage, right? And I believe your next real stage can be much better, right? Shinier, brighter, with more confidence. Okay? So add more real stage, take more speaking project so you can shine better. Okay? Good job, right? And remember to smile. Where's your smile? Okay, that's a very thin smile. Let's practice smiling again next. Yeah? Good job. Let's give applause for Brian.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Leah. I believe the feedback will be very useful. Ladies and gentlemen, let us once again give a round of applause for Brian. Please go back to your seat and remember to ring a bell.
That was easy.
Before moving on to the next speakers, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill out the feedback form, which will be very appreciated by the trainees.
Now, before we move on to our next speaker of today, I want to ask all of you a question, only for clarity.
The first thing that comes in your mind when I say the word eagle. I think of that as well, Miss. You have one mind with me as well. Same brain cells, Miss. I think about the American memes as well. What about you, Clarin?
Have a strong power.
Yeah, that's very correct as well. And the thing about eagles is that What the next speaker is going to talk about is a speech called Eagle's Mentality. And it gets me intrigued because I didn't know how eagles could become a source of message for all of us. But let's hear from his speech later on. So now, let us welcome our next speaker of today. He's going to level up from the level of private to sergeant. He's from the class of Topas, and he's going to deliver a speech titled Eagle's Mentality. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Victor Alexander Winston.
Victor, Eagle's mentality.
Stay away from narrow-minded people. Stay away from narrow-minded people, those who bring you down. Eagles flies with eagles. There's a saying like this. The people who you hang out around with will eventually determine who you become. That's the first one. And the second one is eagles have vision. Eagles, they can focus as something as far as 5 kilometers. No matter what the obstacle, the eagle will not lose focus on its prey. And the meaning to our life is, no matter what the obstacle you face, don't give up on your goals. Because only when you give up, you'll never reach the goal. Don't give up and you'll succeed. This is the second one. And the third one is, eagles, they are fearless. No matter how big or the strength of its prey, it will always try to fight and win. So, the meaning to our life is no matter what the obstacle we face, just do it. Because successful people are fearless. They face problems head on. This is the third one. So let's get into the fourth one. The fourth one, eagles, they never eat that meat. Eagles, they never eat that meat. In other words, they don't scavenge. And the meaning to our life is, don't rely on your past success. Find new things to conquer. Find new goals to conquer. Because there's no growth there. This is the fourth one. And the last but not least, eagles, they prepare for training. Eagles remove the feather and live in the nest, so the young ones can get uncomfortable and get up to prepare for flight and growth. And the meaning to our life is, get up from your safe zone, get out from your safe zone so you can grow. This is the 5 things that we can learn from an eagle. And let me conclude one more time. Eagles, no, not eagles. So the first thing is, eagles fly at high altitude, which means stay away from narrow-minded people. That's the first one. The second one is, eagles have vision. And if you conclude to our life is, don't lose focus on your goal. Focus on your goal, and you will succeed. That's the second one. The third one is, eagles are fearless. So no matter what the obstacle, just do it. Don't be scared. This is the third one. The fourth one is eagles. They never eat that meat or that things. So if you conclude to our life is don't rely on your past success. That's the fourth one. The fifth one, the last one, is eagles.
To give feedback, I would like to remind the audience once again, please do not enter or exit the room during the speaker's speaking time because doing so may distract the speakers. During the 1 minute of silence, you can do it still, no. But then during the speakers, it is best that, if possible, please do not enter or exit the room. Thank you. Now, let us invite our judge to give feedback to Victor. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Sir Ricky.
Alright, okay, Victor. From what I can see, you have a good understanding of what makes a good speaker, right? You've got, all of these basic public speaking, right? There are audible intonation in your speech. You know when to stress important points in your speech, right? And you make appropriate hand gesture. There's a before to walk around the stage. So when I see you as a speaker, I see someone with potential, right? Because you've had a good idea already of what makes a great speaker. And when it comes to your speech, right, there's also a clear structure. You start with a good opening, the content is there, and then you conclude the speech with a conclusion in the end of the day. You rehearse what you've mentioned, so the audience know what you've stated, right? I feel like with more experience, you would have been an amazing speaker because it was still there, it was still unpolished, you still need more stage time so you can progress and get used to the stage. I mean, I can see that you forgot some part of your speech. No, it's very normal. It's just part of being a good speaker. Even the greatest speaker sometimes forgot speech. As you progress in public speaking, you will learn how and what you're going to do if you forgot in the middle of your speech. Because that was very human. Sometimes even if you practice well, you will still forget it. One way you can do it is you probably ask questions for the audience, right? As you stop and pause to think of saying what's next, you try to ask for audience participations. But again, that requires experience, so that's okay. You can learn as you grow. Next thing is, I see some hesitation when you're speaking. This can come from nervousness or you didn't prepare enough, for example. But regardless, this is only something you would know. So if you know what it is that you needed to improve, if you feel like it's because of nervousness, then the goal is just to deliver more speech and get yourself comfortable on the stage. If you feel like you're not well prepared, then you want to prepare more for your upcoming speech, right? Because I feel like with what the speech needs in order to make it better is a consistency, right? You've got, as I've said, you've got all the basics right already. I just need a consistency and conviction, right? A confidence, smile, for example, right? So with that, I feel like it could have been better. Content-wise, if I could just add a little bit more, make sure your conclusion is short and simple. Conclusion is where you don't add anything more. So you just said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. No, you don't have to re-explain the explanation, right? It's short and simple so people can remember. Regardless, Victor, fantastic speech. All the best for your future performance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Ricky. I believe the feedback will be very useful. Ladies and gentlemen, let us once again give a round of applause for Victor. Please go back to your seat and remember to ring the bell. Before we moving on the next speaker, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill out the feedback form, which will be very appreciated by the trainees.
So, four speakers in, and we have seen a variety already. We have seen inspirational speeches, informational speeches, speeches telling people about themselves, motivational speeches as well, persuasive speeches as well. And now we are going to hear a storytelling speech. You like hearing stories, Clary?
Well, of course.
Yes, I do like hearing stories too. And our next speaker is a very energetic one, and I believe he'll be a great storyteller as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our speaker for today. He's going to level up from the level of sergeant to lieutenant colonel. He's from the class of Ruby, and he's going to bring a speech entitled Marco and the Old Man. Well, I've personally never heard of this speech before, and I'm pretty sure that this is quite a new one. So, let's hear it from him. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Winston Huber!
Winston, Marco, and Winston. Your time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. The stage is yours. Good luck. Everyone, let's give a big round of applause for Winston.
Once upon a time, there was a small village surrounded by mountains. There lived a 24-year-old young man named Marco. Marco is a hardworking and kind person, but he was very restless. His mind was always full of negative thoughts. All day long, different thoughts came and went in his mind. These negative thoughts always made him feel uneasy, tired, and even he felt like he wants to give up with his life. By that, he always felt sad about his past and worried a lot about the future. Due to these negative thoughts, his mind was like a storm. The results? He couldn't enjoy his sleep, couldn't feel calm, and even he forgot how to smile. But suddenly, Marco heard about a far-away village in the hills. People said that the famous old man lived there. That old man was used to be a famous psychologist in the city. In his lifetime and his career, he had helped a lot of people on how to find peace in their minds. He used to live in the life of the city, but now he left and decided to live close to the nature, which is in the hills. Even though he lived close to the nature, but still, he gave advices to his visitors. Upon hearing this, Marco has a brilliant idea in mind. He wants to go to that hill and meet that old man as soon as possible. So, after a long and tiring journey, finally, he arrived at the hill. He met the old man and said, "Grandpa, my mind is very restless. I cannot stop thinking. Due to that, I cannot enjoy my sleep. I couldn't feel calm. and even I forgot how to smile. Can you help me on how to find peace? The old man thought for a moment, and then he said, so you are looking for peace. I will give you a small task. The old man took Marco to his little yard. He filled a glass of water, completely full to the top. After that, he gave it to Marco. He said, so, the task for today is to walk from here to the edge of the village. After that, come back here. But remember, there is one rule. You may not even spill one drop of water. Marco thought for a moment. After that, he accepted the challenge. He thought that task was very easy. He started walking with the glass of water in his hand. The road was very narrow and busy. There were people running, walking, and singing. Dogs are barking out loud, and shopkeepers were calling customers. But Marco, on the other hand, only focused at the glass of water. He walked slowly and carefully, step by step, and finally, he completed the task. He said, "Grandpa, finally I completed the task." Not even one drop of water fell. The old man smiled at him and said, "Congratulations for completing the task. But tell me, did you see there were people running, walking, and singing? Did you realize that the dogs are barking out loud and shopkeepers were calling customers?" "No, I only looked at the glass of water," said Marco. Then the old man replied, "Something that is already inside you, but you didn't know. When you live in the present moment, there is no space for fear, confusion, and extra thoughts. You only think about the glass of water. You're not afraid of your past nor your future." After hearing this, Marco starts to understand what it means, and finally, he found peace. From this story, we could learn that peace isn't something we find outside. It's already inside us when we live in the present moment. Thank you.
Thank you for such an insightful story, Winston. Now let us invite
To give Winston some feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Miss Cecilia.
Thank you, Richmond. Yeah. Okay, Winston. How are you feeling?
Yeah, a bit nervous, but I still go through it.
Okay. I like that. I can see you are jumping over here, but then you go to the stage, right? And you show your confidence. Yeah, that is a lovely contrast. Yeah, whatever happened and whatever feeling of the business we have before the stage, let it be. Right? When you're on the stage, it is showtime. And today, you managed to share the showtime in a very professional way. Okay? So good job on that. I love to see different types of props. Yeah, I always love it. And today, I think you choose a really well props, which is music. Right? It's a refreshing choice other than slides and slides and slides. Okay? So I think this is a very lovely choice, and I love your pace of storytelling. Yeah? For me, in the beginning, I love it because you show that you master the speech already. That's why you deliver in a very certain pace, right? But for me, I would love to hear some diversity of the pace, right? So it's not only slow and steady, but there are parts when it will slower, and there are parts where it can be faster. So the diversity creates some tension in the story, right? At the end of the day, it's not becoming a monotone pace of the storytelling. Okay? And in storytelling, the tricky part is how we can make the story interesting for audience to listen. Or you can add some interaction with the audience. And that is the trickier part where you learn a storytelling. Okay? But in a sense, is that a good performance? Yes, it is. Yeah? Is that a good performance for a surgeon level? Yes, it is. Oh, you asked validation for Richmond. Your mentor. But can you be better? Yes, you can. Yeah? So the next challenge for you to let the colonel always think of this. How I can make the speech more interactive, more fun, and more connect with the audience. Yeah? Not only through the choice of words, but also the action you do. Yeah? Make it your extra challenge when you're in. Thank you. Back to the answer.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cecilia. I believe the feedback will be very useful. Ladies and gentlemen, let us once again give a round of applause for Winston. Please go back to your seat and remember to ring the bell.
That was easy.
Before moving on to the next speakers, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill out the feedback form, which will be very appreciated by the trainees.
So just now we have talked about the importance of protecting our environment. And we have also heard the speech from Brian about how to protect the environment. Yes, right, Clarion?
Yeah.
And our next speaker of today is going to talk even deeper about how to protect the environment, which is through one of the ways, recycling. So ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker of today is going to level up from the level of surgeon to lieutenant colonel. She's from the class of Cairo, and she will be delivering a speech titled Recycling. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Kezia Fayana Damai.
Kezia, recycling, Kezia. Your time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. The stage is yours. Round of applause for Kezia.
Thank you. Have you ever wondered what happens to the things we throw away? The plastic bottles, the papers from our notebooks, or the cans from our drinks. Where do they all go? Most of the time, they end up in trash cans or are taken to the landfills. But did you know that most of these items can actually have a second life? That is when recycling comes in. But first of all, what is recycling? Recycling is taking used materials like paper, plastic, glass, or metal and turning them into something new instead of throwing them away. It's like giving our trash a brand new purpose. Like, for example, an old newspaper can become a notebook. And why is recycling so important? Here are 3 main reasons why. And that means cutting down more trees, mining more metals, and using more oils to make plastic. But if we recycle paper, we can save the trees. And if we recycle aluminum cans, we can save metal. And third, it helps reduces pollution. Factories that makes new materials uses a lot of energy and produces harmful gases that pollutes the air. While recycling uses much less energy, and that means less smoke and cleaner air for everyone. Now, what about recycling in Indonesia? In Indonesia, our government has laws and rules about recycling and waste management. The main law is Law Number 18 of 2008 on waste management, which states that everyone, people, companies, and local government should learn how to recycle, reuse, and reduce waste. And in the Government Regulation Number 81 of 2012 explains that households should learn how to manage their waste and encourages everyone to separate their trash into organic, non-organic, and recyclable. And Indonesia also has a big goal to reduce plastic waste in the ocean by 70% by 2025. And we can see clearly from this graph sourced by CCETGP that there's been a steady decline from 2018 to 2025. So the goal has been achieved. In cities like Medan, Jakarta, and Surabaya, we have a program called Waste Bank or Bank Sampah. People go there, bring their recyclables, and they can collect points or small rewards. And for me, around last year, the community in my neighborhood had an activity where we went to the waste bank and we needed to collect the trash first. So I brought some plastics, metals, papers, and stuff like that. But once I arrived there, I didn't really understand, so I asked my mom, "Bank, do they give us money?" But then I saw, instead of holding money, people held bags of sorted waste. And I learned that every kilogram of waste translates into a small saving in the account. In the waste bank, there are the staffs that sorts and weighs the trash that we give. And for me, I brought a sack full of plastic bottles. And once the staff weighed it, I've collected my first point. I was very happy. And I also learned that every trash we give meant a cleaner Indonesia. So from that day on, I had a new goal, which was to collect more trash and bring it to the waste bank. And besides that, here are the things that we can do as students. And not only as students, all of us can take part in doing it. First is to reduce. You can bring your own tumbler and lunch boxes instead of the single-use items. And you can also bring your own shopping bag, like this one, instead of the plastic ones. And you can also use the reusable straw. Second is to reuse. A jar can become a pencil holder, or you can even make your own DIY crafts. Like mine. I made this pencil holder using the waste tea box, and this is from the toilet paper waste. Isn't that useful? And lastly is to recycle. When you go out to public places, you can see that the bins are already separated into organic, non-organic, and recyclable. So we need to be wise in throwing the trash so they can be recycled properly. Recycling might seem like a small action, but it makes a big difference. It protects nature, saves energy, and keeps our air and waters clean. So let us all be part of the change. The next time you finish using a paper or a plastic bottle, don't just throw it away. Think about how you can recycle it. Because a small act today makes a big impact tomorrow. I'm Kezia Fana Dowline. Let us recycle and make the world a better place.
A small act today makes a big impact tomorrow.
Thank you for the wonderful speech, Kezia. Now, let us invite one of our judges today to give feedback to Kezia.
Linger for too long. Linger for too long. And also, what I really especially love is how much consideration that you put in the slide. You make sure that there are also people, the listeners can also do something. You know, you instead of just saying what we all can do, you also make sure that the students can listen as well, right? So what can we do as a student? Which is good because your listener consists of lots of range of age, someone your age and also us else. So I really enjoy. I think there are heart that's being put into it, and I really appreciate it. One thing that your speech, right? It's a persuasive speech. You want people to do something. And one important crux of a persuasive speech is, aside from the call of action that you put, which you've done clearly, you know, small action, make big impact tomorrow, it's also the credibility. You know, sometimes there are things that, right, I agree, you know, some recycling can help the environment. But for some people who just heard of this topic for the first time, their question would be, why would I listen to you, right? And I think that's the most important part for persuasive speech. For people who disagree or is very neutral to agreeing, and thus, I would say this speech would have benefited more if there are more sources. For example, is there numbers on statistics or data of maybe a country or location that have done a recycling program that is effective in helping the environment? If there is a number or source of credible resources, you can put it on your slide as well. So there are numbers. So it's not only about your opinion, but it's also from an expert, right? And I think that is credibility. It's one thing that's significant in order to make your speech more persuasive. But regardless, still, you know, maintain those part that you put into speech, and I can see you as a leader in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ricky, for the useful feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, let us once again give a big round of applause for Kezia. Please go back to your seat and remember to ring the bell.
That was easy.
Before moving on to the next speakers, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill out the feedback form, which will be very appreciated by the trainees.
Yes.
Clever, do you remember that time when we talked about hobbies?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but I did not mention to you that I once had a hobby of photography.
Ooh.
Yeah, I find like photography very like amazing because you do not only capture memories, but there's an incredible technique that you have to apply to get very good results. So I'm really excited to hear this next speaker who's going to talk more about photography. So, our next speaker of today, he's someone from the class of Da Vinci, and he will level up from the level of surgeon to lieutenant colonel today. He will be delivering a speech titled Photography, Capturing the Canon SMLONE.
Canon, Photography, capturing the moment, cannot. Your time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. The stage is yours. Everybody, let's give a big round of applause for Kenneth.
This camera may not be the best nor the most advanced, but it has truly transformed my life. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I would like to share something that has truly transformed my life. Photography. Around a year ago, I got my first phone. And ever since then, I experimented with the camera app, trying every feature and experimenting with angles to even taking photos of anything that I could find. And little did I know that all of these little snaps that I took were drawing me deeper and deeper into my journey through photography. And then around a year later, I got my first camera, which is one of the things that I was most grateful for. And ever since then, I took this thing everywhere. It was no longer my camera. It was like my fifth appendix. And later, it evolved to be this tool that I would use to freeze moments around me and capture them. So ever since then, I would take this thing to take photos in the street, to family outings, to even big events. And so this really is my fifth appendix. Now, I would really want to ask you guys something. What do you think is the purpose of photography? Any idea, anybody? Yes, that is also what I think. Because for me, photography isn't just about pressing a button. For me, it's about capturing the moment, capturing the essence of the moment, immortalizing the moment in a photograph, in an image. And to me, it's just so amazing how with just one click of a button, the moments in life are frozen and we have this memento, this photograph that we get to keep. But what I'm going to share today is how do we get an exquisite memento? How do we get a great photo? What determines a great photograph? So let me clarify. A great photo is made out of a lot of different aspects, such as lighting, composition, color, and tone. These all these aspects work together as one to create this ideal photograph. First of all, I'm going to just pick 2 of the 5 I mentioned, which for me is the 2 most impactful and important aspects of photography, which is lighting and composition. So now, let us welcome the emperor of photography, lighting. So, what is lighting? Lighting is the foundation of photography. Photography without lighting is nothing. And lighting is usually introduced in the exposure triangle. So, this is the exposure triangle. It is a diagram that represents lighting in photography. So, the triangle is made out of 3 parts, which is shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. Shutter speed determines how fast the camera takes photos. A fast shutter speed like 1/500 freezes actions, but because it's so fast, it lets less light in, which results in a darker photo. Then we have aperture. Aperture kind of works like a cat's pupils. When a cat is under the sun, their pupils constrict and get narrow to let less light in. But when it is nighttime, the cat's pupils will turn full black and round to observe more light, brightness, and one which is too dark. Now, jumping to the next one, composition. I like to think of composition as the empress of photography, since in every photo there is always composition. Composition is basically how you arrange your photos, how elements in the photo are arranged. And there are a lot of techniques such as the rule of thirds and the rule of leading lines. The rule of thirds is basically the subject in these intersection of these lines, which is basically where the human eye naturally wanders. And the rule of leading lines utilizes elements or contrasts to lead the viewer's eyes into where you want them to. It sounds magical, but it really works. Now, when you have composition and lighting and you balance them together, you get photos like these. Perfectly arranged photos with perfect brightness. And that is what I like to call photography. Now, I would like to think of photography, some people would like to think of photography as just pressing a button. But in the end, maybe photography isn't just about capturing moments, pressing a button, or mastering lighting, or image composition. Maybe its purpose is to tell us, to deliver a message that every second actually matters. Every second, every piece of photo has its own essence, and every second actually matters. So photography isn't just taking photos. It's telling us how much every second actually is. And I hope this speech has inspired all of you to press that snap button a little bit more, but now with a grateful heart, sharper eyes, and 2 more tricks up your sleeve. This is Kenneth Samuel Lim, snapping out.
Wow, snapping out, Kenneth Samuel Lim. Thank you very much for...
On Instagram, I followed it, by the way. I really like the photos. Now, thank you for your very wonderful speech as well. Yeah, someone who is interested in photography as well, I find this very interesting as well. Thank you for that. Now, let's invite one of our judges today to present and feedback for Kenneth here. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Miss Cecilia.
Thank you. Okay, Kenneth. You know, I can feel your passion. Channel not only through your speaking, but through your heart. When you stand on stage, right? It shows like a fire through the way you deliver this speech, right? I love that how you mentioned a lot of what they call simile on the speech, right? How you say lighting is the emperor of the photography, right? Then the empress is composition, right? This is making the speech so captivating, so interesting to listen to, and to listen to a student. What grade are you now?
Grade 7.
Grade 7 student, this passionate about a topic. I think this is an amazing start. Yeah, I've met. Because I have a past, my past, I worked before in one of international managed hotel, where I worked with photographers, and I met and made agreement with some of the photographers that one picture that he sold to us is worth hundreds of millions rupiah. One picture, and for one session, because he is from Bali, we flew, paid the flight ticket, stay in a hotel and accommodate him. For one session, he can get 60 plus pictures. So can you imagine the money there? Yeah. So I think photography is a very lucrative industry if you are able to sell it, right? And the skill of selling, and it's about convincing others of your value. Today, you're able to educate us and inspire us about the passion that you have. In the future, I hope this communication skill can help you to sell your passions and at the end of the day, give value to others. Okay? So you have a very interesting passion, and I love that your parents are very supportive of it. Yeah? I never heard a junior student already being bought a camera, a professional one. So you have amazing supportive parents, and I love that you are able to maximize it. There's a lot of children that I met, the parents support them really much, yeah? But at the end, it will waste it. Because the students cannot appreciate and also cannot maximize the gift that they are given. And I love that today you are so passionate about it and you share to us about your passion. Yeah? Just not all the pictures you take by yourself. Yes, that's amazing. That's amazing. Oh, I'm impressed. Yeah? Now, what can you do better in the terms of delivery? Yeah, I will not give something there. What you can add better is next time, try when you transition between each slide, try to have or minimize the pauses. Right? So people usually press the pause, and then you as a speaker also pause. Then all the audience attention will go to the next. Right? You don't want that. So just continue talking while you're pressing the pause. Yeah, so you are not making us wait what is next. Yeah? And also, I saw that there's a lot of speech movement. You move to the left, you move to the left. And I love it because it's so passionate and energetic, right? As who you are. But next time, what you can try to do is have more purposeful speech movement. Okay? When you move to a certain point, you can stop there and deliver your point. Then in the part of your speech, when you move to another point, like example from lighting to composition, then you move again to another point on the stage, stop there, and you deliver. Okay? So each point on the stage, when you move, there is a purpose that it represents as the topic or the subtopic of your speech. You get the point? Yeah? So next time, have a more purposeful stage movement and also master the transition of the slide. But overall, this is very refreshing, and I'm waiting to see what else you will be snapping out in the world. Yeah? Good luck. Good luck, parents. Good job.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cecilia. I believe the feedback will be very useful. Ladies and gentlemen, let's once again give a round of applause for Tentang. Please go back to your seat and remember to ring the bell. That was easy. Before moving on to the next speakers, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill out the feedback form, which will be very appreciated by the trainees.
So, Larry, before we move on to the next speech, now this next speech is very interesting as well. It's about languages. But before that, let me ask you, how many languages can you speak?
Maybe around 5 languages.
Oh, what languages are these exactly?
Bahasa language, English, Mandarin, Korea a little bit, and maybe Japanese language little bit.
I see. That's a lot of languages as well. I personally can speak about 3 to 4 languages as well. But looking at this universal language.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever looked at a piece of art and felt something? Without any single words explaining it? Well, art is one of the few things in the world that doesn't need any single translations, because it communicates through colors, sounds, movements, and emotions, things that all humans can feel. So apparently, you don't need to know what the artist speaks and speak the same language as the artist to understand a feeling behind a painting, a sculpture, or a song. For example, when you take a look at Van Gogh's Starry Night over here, you can maybe sense the swirling emotions and the calmness of the night sky. Meanwhile, when you look at Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, you can sense the curiosity because of her mysterious smile. So even without any words of explanations, these artworks already speaks to us. These famous pieces show how art reaches people from every single part of the world. Art has existed for thousands of years, and every culture has its own way of expressing creativity. When you take a look at traditional patterns, ancient carvings, or maybe cultural costumes, you can actually learn something about a society's values and beliefs. And yes, even if you've never spoken their language before or visited their country, you can at least understand one thing about their identity. So in this way, art becomes a bridge, helping us appreciate the world beyond our own experiences and letting us connect with people from different cultures and countries. I once stayed at a hotel in Phoenix, and there was a small art gallery inside. I didn't expect that. I looked around and found many fabulous, gorgeous paintings. But there was this one artwork that really caught my attention. It was a mask. But this mask was very colorful, covered in bright patterns and bright designs. But I didn't know who the artist was. But I still could feel the emotion and the creativity just by looking at the color. That experience really made me realize how art can actually speak to people from every part of the world without using any single words at all. Now, one of the main reasons why art is actually universal and feels universal is because everyone in this world understands emotions. For example, dark and blurry colors makes us feel scared or sad, while bright and lively colors makes us feel happy or excited, right? And the artist, they don't need to write any single thing on the piece of artwork. People from any place, any culture can already feel the emotion just by looking at the artwork. And that's what makes art meaningful to everyone. Now, in today's world, art is also a big part of how we all communicate to each other. We use visuals like emojis, also memes sometimes, posters, logos, animations, digital drawings, and still much more. And sometimes, a picture or a symbol can actually explain something even much more clearer and much more faster than a whole sentence ever could. This shows how much we rely on visuals and how art is so important in our daily lives. Makes us feel calmer and gives us a safe space to share all our feelings. So, to wrap everything up, art is truly a universal language. It helps us connect with people from different cultures and stories without the need to speak the same language with everyone else. And art also reminds us that even though, well, we're all different, we still share many of the same human feelings. Thank you, and I hope this speech can inspire you to appreciate art, not just as something beautiful to see, but as a language that connects us all. I'm Inara, officially signing out.
What a amazing speech, Kirania. You know, when I saw the languages of universal language, the first thing I thought was like literal languages. I did not expect art to be a topic, so very nice work of that. You have received me. Congratulations. Now, let us invite our judge to give feedback to Kirania as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Sari.
Someone once told me that art is a language of change, and I think it's great that you could incorporate both essence of art and public speaking in order to create a speech that actually made a difference. And I think that's very interesting. You know, one thing I can see is obviously there are lots of effort and preparation that was being put into the speech themselves, right? You definitely doesn't rely too much on slides. The speech just flows in. I don't even see or notice, any pauses between when you go from one slide to another. And I think this is something that can only be achieved by lots of preparation. And I can see that there are lots of art that's being put into it, right? That you give a lot of different examples of paintings in the history, and also how it relates to your own experience when you see art in a hotel. There's an art museum in a hotel, right? So I can see the heart that you put into it, and I think that is something that you should definitely maintain. At the same time, the delivery I think is very much flawless, right? There's an effort of walking around the stage, you open up your hand gesture, and I honestly, for a second, I really have to stop. And I was like, I forgot that I was actually listening to the speech that I have to develop because it was that beautiful. So, and the topic is very interesting in itself. And I think, that is something you should be very proud of. Now, you're delivering a persuasive speech, right? So I think one part that you could challenge yourself further as a speaker is obviously if I can encourage you to try using this show and don't tell method, especially in persuasive speaker. That is a very challenging thing that if you could pull it off, it's going to pay you really well in terms of effectiveness. What I mean by this is there are lots of statements that you mentioned about how art can be emotion at a time. Different colors can show off different emotion from the speaker, from the people who observe them. So my suggestion is, why don't you start by showing this color and ask people how they feel about this color. And then that's how you can come to a conclusion. Well, from this, we can see that art, even though something as simple as color, can provoke a certain emotion. So we know art can be emotion, can bring emotion. So I think that conclusion can be reached by the audience themselves without having to say it themselves, right? I would say try to challenge yourself for your next coming speeches if you're trying to do persuasive, to try to interact with the audience, right? The ability to control audience is something that will pay off really well if you want to be a great speaker. The speech is amazing, right? And I just thought that there's a way to make it more amazing. And I'm looking forward to see more of your performance in the future. Great job, right?
Thank you very much, Serenity. I believe the feedback will be very useful. Ladies and gentlemen, let's once again give a round of applause for Kirania. Please go back to your seat and remember to ring a bell.
That was easy.
Before moving on to the next speakers, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill out the feedback form. which will be very appreciated by the trainees.
So just now we have just talked about, well, universal language, and we have also found out that our definition of universal language was wrong, according to the speaker, and turns out it was about art. Well, it was a very nice speech about art, as well, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, one thing that I can say about art is that there are many forms of it. Like, it doesn't have to be, well, just colors. Photography just now mentioned was part of art. Another thing is probably martial arts. One more thing, podcast can also be an art. Am I right, Larry?
Yeah, you're correct.
Yes, and so after this, and basically after this, we're going to listen to a moderating session, basically a podcast from another talented speaker. So this speaker here, over here, is currently at Lieutenant Colonel. She's going to go to the level of Colonel today, and she's going to moderate, moderating session. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Alexandra Joan Michelin.
Alexandra, moderating Alexandra. Your time limit is 8 to 10 minutes. The stage is yours. Good luck.
Greetings, fellow ladies and gentlemen, all audience here. So, I'm Alexandra, and today I'm going to lead the moderating session. And today we have a special guest who is going to talk about the ups and downs of being popular. So, without further ado, let's welcome Mandy. So, Mandy, actually, in the beginning, how can you actually have the idea to talk about the ups and downs of being popular?
Well, I really wanted to raise awareness about that being popular isn't all about the good stuff. There's also some bad parts and some good parts.
Oh, that's very unique, Mandy. So, actually, what do you think if we just start this session now?
Sure, why not?
So, let us give a big round of applause for Mandy!
So, let me ask you all just one singular question. What do you think being popular is? Is it being good or is it bad? Well, let's find out later. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And as you know, today I will be talking about the ups and downs of becoming popular. So, firstly, let's start with the good side. Being popular can get you into many leadership roles, into many events and parties. Aside of that, you can also have a big friend group which will support you through the troubles and also through the problems that you should solve. Because of that, it might make you feel supported and you are accompanied by those troubles and they can help you overcome them. But that's not where it ends.
Scientific results also show that being popular and being liked can help you with your studies, your future, and also your businesses. Because of becoming popular, it can also help you. It can also help you due to your popularity. It can help you with your future, and it can also support you. But let's just pause for a moment. Being popular isn't all about rainbows and sunshine. There are also some bad parts to it, as I said. Being popular can also put the stress of having more stress about trying to stay in your status, trying to maintain your popularity. And it can also cause stress, anxiety, and some mental health. Because of that, studies have also shown that because of becoming popular, people will also use you for your popularity and eventually make them popular themselves. It also shows that being popular can cause stress, anxiety, and mental illnesses from maintaining a good status and popularity, and also trying to maintain your studies and academic at school. So basically, what is popular? Is it bad or is it good? Well, let's just say popularity isn't bad or good. It's neither of them. It's how you handle it. It's how you treat it. If you're kind to others and they actually like you, they will support you through anything and they'll support you through any decision that you make. But if you use it in a bad way to bully others and you also use it to criticize others, it may also lead to you being criticized by others and people talking about you behind your back, which will lead to stress, anxiety, and as I said. But being popular is not about all of those fake friends, all of those people who use you, which is called superficial relationships. It's about the people who actually support you. It's about the people who genuinely like you and support you through every decision that you make. So let's get to it. What is popularity? Popularity is a complex thing, a very difficult thing to solve. It's both bad and good, and it's how you handle it. Being popular, as I said, can lead you to many events, many leadership roles, and many parties. But it can also help you with your future, and can also help you with how you handle your problems and situations. But there are also some potential pitfalls to it. Being popular, as I said, can cause you stress, anxiety, and also mental illness. This can cause you more problems and also disturb you during your academics and a lot of other activities that you might have signed up for. So, being popular, it's not just to bully others, it's not to impress others, it's not to intimidate others. It's to inspire others to do their best, and it's also to help others with their studies and help them get through things. And here I am, Mandy, ready to inspire everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much, Amanda. So what about we have a sit? So Mandy, that was very inspiring for all of us. So what about I ask you some questions and I will put the Q&A session for all of us. So my first question, actually, have you ever become popular?
Yes, indeed I have. I actually could share my
my own story to it. Is it okay for everyone?
Sure.
Okay. So it basically all started when I was in preschool in the first term, and my father and a few other tuitions for maths and English, but mainly mostly maths. After all of that training, I went to grade 1 and officially I joined an Olympiad, which was SASMO. And when I was doing SASMO, I realized that the questions are actually quite easy. And in the end, after all of that, I actually won. And because of that, my mother has inspired me and told me that you have the potential to become popular and you can apply to all fields. And now, after all of that training, after all of those studies, I have become a person who just regularly applies to Olympiads. Wow, that's very interesting, Andy. So, actually, what do you feel when you became popular this time? Well, there's not much to it. Being popular isn't just being surrounded by crowds. Me personally, I just like to lay low and not cause too much attraction. And you just not say that normally famous people have fake friends. So what about you? Oh, well, yes, I do have a few fake friends in the past. They have used me to help them, cheat their homework for some reason, and they have also asked me on how to solve these questions when they're actually using it for their homework, and they mostly use me for that. So what about now? We open the Q&A session for everyone. Sure. So anyone have any question for our guest today? So let me no one ask you. At least they have understood deep about you, about your content. So what about I ask you some questions? Alright. So actually, did you know the celebrities who what actually that could make you famous? Well, typically for me, I think that the thing that makes me famous is mostly my Olympiads that I've won and the more competitions that I win, the more my school applies me to those Olympiads. And in the end, after I won, the school puts people who won the Olympiad on billboards so they get well known and popular in school. That's how it works. What about you see other people being popular and what do you see that they get popular from? Well, I think that people become popular mostly either from their studies, their academics, their how they treat others, or just they bully people up. So that's actually the people that you know how can become famous. If it's for me, I have actually just two friends who are popular, but they're mostly famous by doing bad things. That's why I have a few friends who became popular from Olympiads like me, but I don't think them well. But the two friends that I know well who are popular, they are popular because they do bad things, bullying others, criticizing them behind their backs, and also getting into a lot of fights with adults. So that means popular does not only means good things, but also could be bad. That's kind of strange. So actually, do you really feel happy when you become famous? I mean, I do feel happy whenever I become famous, but for me,
I think I will just like lay low. I don't really want to like show off my competitions and.
So normally if you see famous people, normally what will they show off or they wear?
Sorry?
Like what normally their type, for example, the show off people?
Oh, the people who usually show off are mostly arrogant people or people who like to just.
Actually, sometimes it will be good and bad. Actually, sometimes it will be good and bad based on who are we faced with.
It is also in terms of how we deal with it and how we process it.
Oh, now I understand what does popular really means. So that means Mandy really help us to know popular more and to sum up today's moderating session. Mandy said that popular could be bad or good for our mental health because it could really affect how do we want to socialize with other people and many more, right? I think. So do you have any words to our beloved audience?
Well, what I would like to say is that keep striving and don't give up no matter what obstacle comes through your way.
So that's the word from you. And that's all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Alright, thank you for your podcast about the ups and downs of being famous, Alexandra and Mandy. I think I've learned quite a lot about like what being famous can feel like as well. Thanks for that. Now let us have our judges for today, Miss Cecilia and Sari, to give feedback for Alexandra and Mandy. I think Alexandra first. Means Miss Cecil first.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Alexandra. Okay. How do you feel about your performance today? Do you feel satisfactory completing it? Okay. One by one. Yeah. So Alexandra, actually in the opening you were quite hyped up already. Yeah, you managed to hype up the audience for okay, we're gonna welcome a very interesting speaker. Which is the job of a moderator, right? Now, I think the difficulties there started when there is no questions from the audience, right? And as moderator, this can happen in whatever effect. Yeah, maybe the audience was confused. What should I ask? Right? Now that is why the moderator in the beginning gives some little easy questions to open up the conversation. Yeah? Moderating is a very hard challenge. And I applaud you to be brave enough to take this challenge. Okay? It has a very different skill set from a speaker. It runs similar from an MC. Right? I see you've done an MC before with me together on the stage and you've done a very well done job. Right? And now moderating has a different set of challenges, which is you have to be able to make the session feel smooth, flowy, right? By what? By giving questions to the speakers, then summarize it, then you transition to the next section. So the whole session should feel like smooth as a butter. Okay? Now this is not sense and feel. Okay? I believe that you prepared before. I heard that you practiced with Mandy before. Right? But I think there are parts of the preparation that needs to be improved, including your performance today. Yeah, I can see your body just a bit tense. Yeah, you are closing your hands, and maybe you are surprised by that there is no question from the audience. That's why we as a moderator, we always have to prepare sets of questions. And it should be a lot of questions that it can fill the time.
have no doubt that you have a great delivery. You have a very great idea of what makes a good speaker, and it's obviously so. You're a colony. You've delivered lots of speech. You speak with conviction. I love the gesture. You're very expressive. When you are speaking, you command attention. And I think that is necessary as a speaker. When you're speaking, everyone looks at you, right? You're very tiny, but you seem like you own the stage. And I think that's amazing, right? I feel like there is a moment where you try to walk around the stage, but you can't because there's a chair around. I can see that you tend to look left and right. My suggestion is just put the chair a little bit backwards first, and before the speaking starts, so it's easier for you. You don't have to throw it away, obviously. So you just put the chest a bit backward, so it's easier after you finish. You just pull it out. But whatever happens, happens. Now, I want to focus more about the objective of your speech, which is persuasive speech. Mandy, what do you think makes a speech persuasive?
I think that persuasive speech is made out of things that can inspire others, persuade others for the purpose of the speech.
That's correct. You want people to feel something. That you want to intrigue people to create a difference. You want to change something. So, Mandy, what is it that you want to persuade to do?
Well, honestly, I would like to persuade people that being popular isn't just good things. It isn't being invited to parties. It isn't just being in big friend groups. There are also some downsides.
I understand that. I appreciate it. One thing I noticed today is that what you are trying to tell is an information. What being a populist. It's not persuasive because it's not asking people to do something. It's showing people how something is. So that is one thing you want to be aware of when you're preparing your speech. What do I want people to do? What is the objective of the speech? And did I fulfill that? Right? However, let's just talk a little bit about the content. Beautiful, you use your own personal experience and how it relates to your speech. Now, the crux of either way, I feel like the speech is more informative than persuasive, but even if it's informative, let's say, I would say it would have benefited more with a little bit more of information or data or sources. Let's say, you've used your own personal experience, and that's amazing. But you could also use the story of maybe studies or data or statistics of how popularity and fame can affect you. We've seen it especially a lot in celebrities and how they get depressed of this popularity, which shows that sometimes it's not only about money, right? People who are very big can be depressed as well. So I would say those information would have definitely made and accentuate your speech to another level. Because it shows that it's not only about you, but it's also a lot of people that's feeling that way. I would say, Andy, in a sense, be more aware of the objective. Because when it comes to the delivery, you've got it already. I can see why you definitely deserve that. The next challenge is to be more aware of what each speech entails and the objective is. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sir Ricky. I believe the feedback will be very useful. Ladies and gentlemen, can I add something?
Yes, okay. So, what happened today, for Alexandra and Mandy? Both of you, Alexandra is like a colonel already, right? Mandy is colonel already. A good speaker of you are both, you are a good speaker. Okay, you have to understand that. But in the terms of Lieutenant Colonel and Colonel, the challenge is different. Being a good speaker is not enough. You have to complete the objective. Okay? Then both of you have a different set of objectives. Alexandra, your objective is to have a moderating session, right? That is smooth as butter. Okay? Now, maybe your objective is to persuade others. Right? Today, we agree that I think you For the opening is there, the body is there, but the purpose, it's misled. Yeah? So let's talk more about it, and let's find a way to make sure like this is really persuasive. Okay? Yeah, both of you are good speaker. Yeah, I don't want you to think that you're a bad speaker because both of you are good speaker. It's just the objective is not that. Yeah? So rest assured, we'll help you how to manage. Okay? Take a deep breath. Back to the answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's once again give a round of applause for Alexandra and Andy. You may go back to your seat and remember to ring the bell. Thank you. Ring the bell. That was easy. Before moving on to the next speakers, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill out the feedback form, which will be very appreciated by the trainees.
So now we're going to move on to an inspirational speech. And this one is about thinking positive. What do you think, Clary?
We should think positive because if we think negative, it will like make our brain more messed out. So we need to think positive more.
Yeah, I agree as well, especially in times where, especially exams, for example, we're all going to go through exams soon. Some of us are going through exams. Thinking positive, I believe, is very important. And I've always been a fan of thinking positively, being optimistic, manifesting. So I'm really excited to hear this speech as well. Anyway, this specific speaker here, he's a clown now. He is from the class of philosophy, and he's going to deliver this speech entitled Think Positive. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Nicholas John.
Nicholas, think positive, Nicholas. Your time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. The stage is yours. Good luck.
Life isn't always easy as we thought. Each and every one of us is sure to face problems in life. There are also times when things doesn't always go our way. For example, like when we fail, or when we're tired, or people doubt us. In those moments, it's easier for us to focus on what's wrong, right? But did you know that our way of thinking can actually change our point of view on the current situation? Our thoughts can either limit us or lift us higher. Sometimes what we truly need to be paying attention to isn't the situation, but our mindset. Let me give an example. Let's take Thomas Alva Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. Despite him failing around 1,000 times trying to create the light bulb, he never thought about failing once. He never said to himself, I will never succeed. And if he did, we'll be living in a world in pitch darkness. However, he thought positive, and he once ever said, I have not failed, and I have made over 10,000 ways which won't work. And that is the power of perspective. He turned every single failure to a stepping stone to success. And now, we are filled in a world with light just because of one man who refused to give up. Now, for another example, let's take athletes. Many of the greatest winners didn't win just because they were stronger. They were generally faster, generally skillful, generally smarter than their opponents. They won because of their mindset. They believed that they could do it, even though when the odds are against them. When they lose, when they fall, they get back up and train even harder. Their belief is what helped them to keep going and to keep fighting until the very end. Most trophies, most world records, and most gold medals are won just because of one simple yet powerful thought: I can do it. When you think negative, your problems will grow bigger. You will feel stuck and your energy drops. You'll start to feel that nothing will ever get better. However, when you think positive, you change your perspective. You start to see opportunities and lessons, while others start to see obstacles and failures. Positive thinking allows you not to evade the challenge, but helps you to give the courage to face it. However, positive thinking isn't just about putting a fake smile on your face and thinking that everything is perfectly fine. It's also not about ignoring your pain or denying your struggles. However, positive thinking is about saying to yourself that no matter how hard life could be, there will always be a ray of hope. Now, I would like to ask everyone here a question. Do you guys watch Formula 1 by any chance? Yes, okay. If there are some, I think you can understand this, right? So imagine a Formula 1 race with 20 drivers. On one hand, driver A starting in 19th position thinks that it's far in the back and he should just give up and he will probably fail. Or on the other hand, driver B, who thinks that he can still do it, even though when the odds are against him, he will still, no matter the result, he will always try his best. So ladies and gentlemen, my question for everyone is, which driver do you think will get a better result? Of course, driver B, right? If you answer driver B, that means you'll learn a bit about positive thinking. But did you know that this driver with the right mindset actually did it? A driver, Formula driver named Sergio Perez, 6-time Grand Prix winner, actually did it. He started from last place and finished first, winning the Grand Prix and marked one of the greatest comebacks in all racing history. And that is the power of belief and perseverance. So no matter what position you're in, whether it's school, whether it's work, whether it's family, or even your own doubts, remember this: your thoughts are always powerful. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to challenge everyone here to think positively in every situation. Bit by bit of practice, you'll see how your life changes for the better. As you'll grow more confident, you'll grow more hopeful, and you'll grow more stronger. And if you keep repeating this, there's nothing you cannot overcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, whatever situation you are facing, I invite every one of you to think positive, to live positive, and to inspire others to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you for your very inspirational speech. I particularly like your link to Formula 1 as well. That was a very nice application there. Now, before we ask the judges to evaluate Nicholas, I'd like to invite our Lieutenant General Clarissa Valencia Komala to give an evaluation for Nicholas. For Nicholas, you can go back down first. Let's welcome Lieutenant General Clarissa.
All right, let us give a round of applause to Nicholas for completing such amazing speech today. All right, so first of all, really good job to Nicholas for completing his influential speech. So I feel like in this, as influencing in this objective, he did it completely well, because in his in his speech earlier today, he talked about a lot of about thinking positively, and he at the end he asked and he mentioned a little call of action, and I think it brings a huge difference to his speech. So I really love his call of action in the end, and I also really love that in Nicholas' speech today, his hand gestures were really on point. His hand gestures were really open throughout, and also I love how he added different varieties, like when he used his hand like this, that we can do it, and also a lot of different varieties that it's just really great and enhance his message. Add a little engagement with audience in the middle of his speech, which was about, does anyone know Formula One drivers? That's really great. One thing to improve is that I heard a no in the audience earlier. So I think before going on about explaining what this Formula One drivers did, we can add a really, really brief explanation of what this Formula One driver is, right? So perhaps you can say, does anyone know Formula One drivers? There's some in the audience that said no. So one short sentence. So Formula One is actually a race car, blah, 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 right? Just one short explanation. And after that, going on with Nicholas' content. So overall, I really, really love his open-handed hand gestures, and he added a lot of different varieties in his hand gestures. Again, with his voice and pronunciation was really, really clear. One other thing that he also included a lot of different examples about the Thomas Alva Edison to athletes to F1. That's really great. One thing Nicholas could work on in the future is a little explanation if audience miss a thing in your speech, right? So just a brief explanation. Overall, Nicholas did really, really great today. So let us give a round of applause to Nicholas.
Thank you, Clarissa, for your evaluation. Now you may go back to... this is your second evaluation already, yes, right? Please ring the bell. That was easy. And now let's invite Nicholas back on the stage. Now let's have one of our judges for today to evaluate Nicholas. Let us welcome Miss Cecilia.
Thank you very much, Miss Cecilia. I believe the feedback will be very useful. Now you can ring the bell and have a seat.
That was easy.
Before moving on the next speakers, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill out the feedback form, which will be very appreciated by the trainees.
Now, before we move on to our final speaker of today, let me ask the audience a question. Do you all have a dream?
Yeah.
You all have aspirations too, am I right? Yes, we all have aspirations too, including you, that's right. Yeah, so what is your dream?
My dream is becoming a dancer and singer.
I see. Well, a dream of mine is to become an innovator. An innovator that can work on and solve world problems as well. And I believe that this next speaker will be telling us the path to achieve that dream of ours. Stop losing our dreams is her title. Her class is Galileo, and she will level up from the level of colonel to lieutenant general. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our last speaker of today, Jesslyn Osei Wijaya.
Jesslyn, stop losing on our dream. Stop losing on our dream, Jesslyn. Your time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. The stage is yours. Good luck. That sound used to control my future. Because every time it rang, I wasn't just waking up from that. I was supposed to wake up
for
myself.
For my goals, for the future I wanted. But instead, I kept turning it off. Not because I didn't care, but because I kept telling myself, I'll start tomorrow. And honestly, that tomorrow never came. When I was younger, I had a big dream. I wanted to be the first in everything. First in school, first in competitions, first in community. And I believe I could be. But I had a problem. I kept waiting. Every night, I told myself, tomorrow, I'll try harder. Tomorrow, I'll start. It sounds so reasonable, so responsible. But I didn't realize whenever I said tomorrow, I was actually choosing not today. And after enough not todays, that dream started slipping away, slowly, quietly. That when I look back and thought, if I had started earlier, just a little earlier, I might have become someone a lot stronger today. Not perfect, not number one, but at least someone who didn't keep postponing on her dream. And that hurt me because I realized I didn't lose to someone else. I lost my own tomorrows. I lost to the version of me that kept saying later, until later became never. Surprisingly, it's not just me. a lot of us ever snooze on our dreams. According to newsroom.ucla, researchers have found something surprising on how we think about our future selves. Researchers from Stanford University observed more than 1,500 people by using brain scans. And they found out whenever we imagine our future selves, our brain reacts as if we're thinking of a stranger. So that is why whenever we say, we'll start tomorrow, our brain isn't giving attention to our future self. Instead, it's handing it over to someone else. And according to Science Direct 2025, that happened to most people. 7 to 9 out of 10 students keep postponing their work, even when they know it will hurt them later. Another study shows that when scientists tracked more than 1,000 students for the whole year, they found out students who keep postponing even small tasks ended up to be more nervous, stressed, and regret not starting earlier. Another study also found the exact same pattern in adults. Most people choose small, easy rewards today rather than bigger benefits tomorrow. But why? Not because they can't do it, but because delaying feels easier, safer, that we don't realize. Every delay is like giving away a piece of our future to someone else. Every comfort comes with a cost. Delaying might seem simple. Snoozing our dreams might feel tiny, but it shapes our morning. Our morning shapes our habit, and our habit shapes our life. Waiting for the right moment is a trap. Motivation doesn't come first. Action creates motivation. Discipline doesn't come first. Action creates discipline. And the life we want doesn't come first. Action creates all of them. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next time when our alarm rings, remember, it's not just a sound, it's a choice. A choice to delay or a choice to begin. Every decision we make today shapes who will be tomorrow. So, ladies and gentlemen, I urge all of us here to stop pressing snooze and start taking action. Back to the mosque.
Thank you for such an inspiring speech, Jesselyn. And yes, I really agree with everything you say. And I really like how you linked it with snoozing and alarm. That was amazing. Now, let us invite our judge to give evaluation for Jesselyn. Ladies and gentlemen, let us...
Alright, thank you very much, MC. Firstly, Justin, oh my god, it's been like a few months since I've seen you, and a lot certainly can happen in the past few months, right? So what I just wanted to say is, before I just give a feedback, I just want to take a few seconds to just appreciate how far you've progressed. Because whatever you're doing, you're making a progress. And I think that in itself is something you can be very proud of. A few months ago and today, you're so much different, both as an individual and as a speaker. You have so much charisma now. Let's talk about the speech. I feel like it was very well prepared. It's very smooth, the way you deliver them, and the content themselves. Since this is a persuasive speech, it requires credibility, right? And you definitely do. You study by Stanford University, and that helps creating credibility and give us more reason of why we should listen to you, right? The way you walk around the stage is fantastic. The gesture is also variety. Oh, do you also create rhyming at the end of the speech before you give a clear call of action? Overall, I think there are lots of dedication and heart that is being put inside this speech. And that's why I think that you should be very proud of yourself, right? And now, when it I think we'll just start with something that is very little that people tend to overlook, which is the title of the speech, right? Now, when it comes to title, you want to create a title that creates intrigue, and not to disclose off too much. Because if you're sharing too much on your speech, there can only be two possibilities. Either they agree with you or they disagree with you. If they agree with your statement, they would probably sometimes not have to listen too much because they thought you would have known what you're trying to say. I mean, if they disagree with you, they might be discouraged from listening to your speech. I mean, imagine watching a movie with a title that says the main character dies at the end. It's kind of like you're giving spoiler of what's happening in the movie, right? That's why movies tend to be very, mysterious in what it's trying to say. Weekend for good. Ooh, what's weekend? And why is it good? Right. So that's one. I think the title could be something as simple as, for example, snooze. Right? And next thing, I feel like you have a very great vocal projection. Right? Now, it's a gift, obviously. The thing about great vocal projection is it can be a double-edged sword, as if you deliver a longer speech, let's say, as a trainer, you might need to speak for hours, it can create fatigue. So one way that we could use as a tips to prevent that is that if you're trying to emphasize or stress a point, instead of going higher, because if you go higher, you would have semi-scream in it, you try to go lower. So that creates a variety. Helps with your fatigue, and it also make it preventing people from thinking that you're kind of trying to scream out, right? Regardless, amazing performance, and I think you should be very proud of it. It's a great job, Tristan.
Thank you very much, Sir Ricky. I believe the feedback will be very useful. Ladies and gentlemen, let's once again give a round of applause for Jaslyn.
That was easy.
Before moving on to the next speakers, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill out the feedback form, which will be very appreciated by the trainees.
Okay, so before we move on to the evaluation of our soon general to be, now I'd like to tell you guys something. So, Clary, did you know that now SMLONE opens a Sunday class?
I just know.
Yeah, I just knew just now from Miss Cecilia as well. Yes, that's how surprised I was as well. But now, yeah, there's a Sunday class from SMLONE for apprentice. It is 1 to 2 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Is it?
11:30.
Oh, 11:30. Start. And at what time?
11:30 until 1.
Oh, 11:30 until 1. So yeah, if you have any like little brothers or sisters who are in like the age group of grade 1 to grade 3, then maybe you can consider apprentice. And well, if you have a little sibling in the age group of grade 1 to grade 3 who doesn't have time on weekdays, then you may consider this something. Because normally I go by the SMLONE Sabang Timur every time I come back from
this week. And you share to them what to improve, but not only what to improve, but how to improve. Yeah, it's very important as an evaluator at how to improve, because it will help them to be better. Because the goal is for them to be better, right? SMLONE. making you
Very.
very good. If you feel what do you call yell just now, I will tell you. Joking. And I love that in the beginning you appreciate the speakers. Yeah, so you open with something sweet. Yeah. What I wish for, you can close with something sweeter. Right? Think of it. Other than encouragement, what else you can give sweeter? What I usually do is I want to see them better, example. I want to see their next performance they can be better. So you help them to portray when they are better. That can help. Okay? So find your own uniqueness as an evaluator. Yeah? This will be additional challenge. Okay? I have seen evaluators done really well done job. Yeah? From the trainers as well. I see a lot of trainers use examples. Pantun as evaluators, right? Analogy and quotes. And sometimes I don't even use that. So when you are able to find your unique points of evaluating, it will make you stand out as evaluators. Okay? Now, I noticed one thing. You use a lot of the word really. Just be aware. Just now, your performance evaluations have excessive number of really. Yeah? So find another word because if you use it too much, it's become distracting. Yeah, but overall, love your outfit, love your performance. Now, welcome General Teresa Valencia Coma. Back to the MC.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Cecilia. I believe the feedback will be very useful. Ladies and gentlemen, let's once again give a round of applause for Clarissa. Please go back to your seat and remember to ring the bell. That was easy. Before moving on to the next speakers, let's have 1 minute of silence so our dear trainees and parents can fill up the feedback form, which will be very appreciated by trainees.
So, ladies and gentlemen, how are you feeling now that the real stage is finally over? Relief? Relief, yeah, because I am relieved too. Okay, never mind. Now that I remember that exams are coming, I'm no longer relieved. Yeah. But, well, despite your nervousness just now, all of you did remarkably. It's very well.
So congratulations to all participants of Real Stage 46. Now, before we invite all participants to the stage, we would like to invite Miss Jovita to announce a special award.
Please give a big round of applause to Miss Jovita.
Oke, thank you MC. Selamat sore Bapak, Mama, dan kami semuanya. Saya perkenalkan, nama saya Rika atau biasa Mama sebut dengan Jovita. Jadi Jovita mau mengucapkan banyak terima kasih kepada para orang tua kami di sini dan juga anak-anak kami yang sudah menyempatkan waktunya hadir hari ini di SMLONE secara asli melihat dan melaksanakan real stage anak-anak kita ini. Jadi mari berikan tepuk tangan yang paling meriah semua anak-anak kita yang sudah lulus real stage kali. Jadi seperti yang Bapak Mama tahu bahwasanya kita SMLONE itu ada 3 cabang. Ada yang di SMLONE Jalan Timur, nomor atau di center point, kemudian ada yang di kamar asli di tempat ini, dan satu lagi ada di Pintura. Nah, masing-masing cabang istimewaan kita juga memiliki CRO masing-masing. Jovita untuk center point, Sofia untuk istimewaan kamar asli, dan juga Aurel untuk istimewaan kita. Oke, mungkin Papa Mama ada yang bertanya-tanya, real estate itu sebenarnya apa sih? Jadi, real estate itu adalah ujian yang dilakukan secara reguler oleh istimewaan memastikan setiap rekan kita yang berada di istimewaan ini mengalami pengembangan, atau singkatnya itu biasa kita sebut dengan ujian peningkatan level seperti yang kita bicarakan di hari ini. Jadi, ketika anak-anak kita sudah menyelesaikan real estate, maka mereka akan mendapatkan sertifikat, kenaikan level, dan yang terakhir ada report real estate. Jadi selain daripada feedback yang diberikan langsung oleh para juri, nanti anak-anak juga mendapatkan report yang dikirimkan oleh tim training kami ke email Papa dan Mama 1 minggu dari hari ini. Kemudian untuk mengetahui progres dan perkembangan anak kita, itu Papa Mama bisa mendapatkannya melalui 3 hal. Yang pertama ada link student success hub atau link report. Nah, link report ini biasanya dikirimkan oleh setiap CRO cabang kepada WhatsApp orang tua pertama kali hadir atau mendaftarkan atau pada saat screening test. Jadi barangkali mungkin Papa Mama udah lupa atau bingung linknya yang mana, nanti Papa Mama boleh menghubungi masing-masing CRO setiap cabang untuk meminta dikirimkan link student success hub-nya. Lalu yang kedua, selain daripada link itu ada juga perlakuan oleh Ruang. Ruang juga biasanya selalu memperkenalkan diri kepada orang tua untuk melakukan komunikasi setelah anak kita mulai beberapa kali melakukan pertemuan di SMLONE. Nah, yang terakhir itu ada parents trainer meeting. Nah, untuk parents trainer meeting ini biasanya SMLONE melakukan itu per 1 tahun sekali atau 1 bulan sekali. Jadi nanti Papa Mama juga boleh mengikuti parents trainer meeting untuk diskusi dengan para trainer mengenai progres anak-anak kita di kelas. Jadi, hari ini anak-anak kita juga melakukan real estate itu dari berbagai level. Nah, ini SMLONE ada level, dari level private atau yang paling pertama, naik ke surgeon naik ke lieutenant kolonel ke kolonel, dari kolonel naik ke lieutenant general, dan yang terakhir lieutenant general naik ke general. Ketika sudah general, maka anak kita melakukan real estate terakhir, kemudian nanti akan sudah dari SMLONE. Maka dari itu, ketika anak naik level, bisa saja butuh buku yang di level baru. Jadi khusus hari ini, untuk anak-anak kami yang melakukan real estate, kita akan memberikan promo spesial buku dari harga 600.000, hanya hari ini aja menjadi 500.000 satu paket atau satu set, yaitu speaking project, live project, dan diet. Nanti pembeliannya boleh dilakukan di bawah kita, atau misalkan ada kendala boleh menghubungi CRO masing-masing. Nah, terus untuk program di SMLONE, seperti yang kita tahu bahwasanya SMLONE menyediakan program dari kelas 1 SD sampai SMA, dan juga untuk yang profesional atau orang tua, dan juga yang adult. Ada juga seperti public speaking workshop, speaking arena, corporate training, dan juga private. Lalu maka dari itu, kalau Papa Mama sudah merasakan manfaat dari SMLONE, maka SMLONE juga menyediakan yang namanya referral program. Jadi referral program ini, kalau Papa Mama punya kerabat, teman, saudara, dan mau join ke SMLONE, Papa Mama boleh memberikan referral kepada saudara kita atau Papa Mama, supaya nanti SMLONE memberikan promo atau voucher up to 200.000 kepada Papa Mama. Jadi nanti Papa Mama bisa menggunakannya untuk transaksi leadership, teamwork, self-confidence, pengembangan potensi, sertifikatnya juga. Ada juga harga khusus discount price-nya, bisa yang sendiri atau juga bisa yang grup dan lebih hemat. Kemudian yang terakhir nanti anak-anak juga mendapatkan eksklusif campaign for appliance. Nah, nanti ini tanggalnya sudah ada di akhirnya, tapi untuk informasi detailnya juga bisa menghubungi masing-masing CRO di situ. Kami juga sangat berterima kasih apabila Papa Mama memiliki feedback kami seperti masukan dan lainnya boleh diisi melalui feedback ke kita atau barcode di depan ini, dan apabila teman-teman lebih nyaman langsung menghubungi cewek masing-masing juga tidak masalah. Boleh langsung ke customer relationship officer atau CFO masing-masing cabang, Jovita, Setia, dan Kurel, atau nanti langsung kepada tim kami yang ada di sini juga tidak apa-apa. Demikian yang bisa saya sampaikan pada sore hari ini. Terima kasih atas perhatiannya dan saya serahkan kembali ke Sesi.
Okay, thank you, Miss, for the promotions. And yeah, guys, so support SML1, support all of us here, especially in the next holiday coming this December. Join the future leadership program as well, because I'll be joining as well. So yeah, Clarin, please join. Winston, please join. Okay, yeah. Now, anyways, so we would like to call the participants to come up to the stage, taking turns. So if you hear your name being called, please go up to the stage to receive your certificate and pin. Oh yeah, and we invite Miss Cecilia to come up to the stage to present the awards and certificates and pins. Daryl W.T. Gitting. Surgeon Daryl W.T. Gitting.
Surgeon Brian Hussein.
Surgeon Victor Alexander Winston.
Lieutenant Colonel Winston Gilbert. Thank you very much, Miss Cecilia. You may return to your seat. Now, let us welcome Sir Yakin to come up to the stage to present the pins and certificates.
Lieutenant Colonel Kenneth Samuel Lim.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Lieutenant General Nicholas Chung.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3.
Lieutenant General Justin Oksay Wijaya.
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
And last but not least, General Clarissa Valencia Komala.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you, Sir Ricky. You may go back first.
Okay, so we would like to once again congratulate and thank all of our trainees for their participation, our judges who I'm sure have given feedback that will for sure improve all of the audience, all of the speakers, and the audience, our dear parents and friends. Not only the ones who are here, but also from the ones watching through the live stream. Thank you very much for supporting all of us.
We appreciate every single moment we spend with everyone. And we will always remember this as our most memorable memory. I am Colonel Clarissa Stanley.
And I'm General Richmond.
Thank you and see you at the next event. Before we end this session, we would like to invite all participants and judges to come to the stage so that we all can take photos together.
And also, don't forget to bring your certificates as well.
Get closer. Yuk, yang tinggi di depan yang lebih tinggi di belakang. Ready? You can stand here. Dari, you can stand here.
Okay, so kita ke picture.
Mandy, Alexa, to make sure we sit here. Rainara. Yuk, get closer. Lebih dekat. Badannya keren sedikit fancy. Yeah. Yes. You can look at that.
Alright, everyone's ready. 1, 2, 3. Da Vinci, look at here. Look at the camera.
Keisha.
Keisha.
Keisha, you can. Oh yeah, Keisha can switch